Hi, my name is Abby Marshall, and I'll be helping you walk through the IEP process today. Okay, so you're thinking your child needs an IEP. What does it look like? What's your involvement? What's your child's involvement? So right out the gate, I do want to say an IEP is an individualized education plan. So the best way for this plan to serve your child and you is for you and your child to have a voice in the process. So ultimately, you and your child should participate in the IEP meetings. You should voice your concerns. You should voice your strengths, voice your weaknesses. And both of you should be present at the IEP meeting. You should be present in forming your goals and objectives and talking with your school staff about what you want that to look like. So to go from the very beginning of this process, we're going to talk about the referral. This can be a really confusing process depending on your accessibility and whether you're in public school, but every child is entitled to specialized services. So whether you're homeschooled in a private school or in a public school, there's something called Child Find that actually requires the public schools to make sure that every child with a disability within their district is accounted for. So whether that's you referring your child, whether that's a teacher referring your child, staff, it can come from a number of different aspects, but ultimately, if you're thinking your child needs an IEP, you are absolutely welcome to refer your child and have them evaluated to see if they need an IEP. That evaluation, what does it look like? So evaluations are done by school administrators who are hired to do it. So often the school psychologist plays a big role in actually administering the tests. And these tests can vary depending on where you live, your state assessments, what the school has access to. But basically what these tests are going to do is going to assess the strengths and weaknesses of your child so that the IEP can actually be built on data, right? So that's how the evaluation goes. Eligibility. So to be eligible for an IEP, your child needs to have one of the 13 major disabilities listed on this list. Let me actually just read it for you because if I'm being honest, I don't know it off the top of my head. So these include intellectual disabilities, hearing impairment or deafness, speech or language impairment, visual impairment, blindness or serious emotional disturbance, orthopedic impairment, autism, traumatic brain injury, other health impairment, or a specific learning disability, deaf and blindness, or multiple disabilities. So all of these could be reasons that your child should have an individualized education plan to suit their needs. Components of the IEP. So big things that are going to be included in an IEP is your child's present levels. That's going to come through the evaluation. The accommodations that your child needs, the related services that your child needs. So related services is going to include OT, speech, PT, extra services that your child will need to thrive academically. And then it will be closed out by goals and objectives. So goals and objectives are where your child will have a math goal to be able to I can't get that specific without knowing your child, but whatever your child's math goal needs to be, that will be a SMART goal, specific and measurable and pertaining to your child's academics. They'll make goals for different domains, so math, literacy, whatever your child needs to make a goal and objective for to improve academically, they will. And then those goals will be reviewed annually. So this is an annual review meeting that happens when your child has an IEP every year. You meet together and reassess, okay, did they meet this goal and objective? Can we make a new one? Should we revise it? Do we need to break it down a little more? What do we need to do? You're also completely welcome to be asking your students' teachers and staff if they're meeting those goals and objectives throughout the year, how their progress is. There should be quarterly progress monitoring going on at your school to check that your child is in step with their goals and objectives. So it's not a one time of a year conversation when your child has an IEP. You want to be constantly in communication with their teachers, with their school psychologists, with their related services. I mean, OTs, PTs, speech, I work in special ed right now, and they're all incredibly willing to speak to the parents because that's helpful for them too. So all this being said, communication is a huge factor in your child having an IEP. Ethical responsibilities of the teacher is to keep that communication, to keep you aware of your rights and your child's rights throughout the process.